In the previous video, we covered some of the basic organizational structure of the brain. As fascinating and complex as your brain is, however, it would still be pretty useless without a body. It wouldn't be able to eat, see, move, or do any of the things that you do every day. So you might be wondering, how does your brain know that you stubbed your toe, or sense that your hand is gripping the wheel of a car? In this video, we'll be talking about the nervous system, the primary means by which your brain sends information to and receives information from the rest of your body. The nervous system can be thought of as the brain's communication network that consists of all of your nerve cells. We will first begin by giving a broad overview of the major divisions of the nervous system. In the next video, we'll take a deeper dive into how our nerve cells actually work. First, the nervous system is divided into two major overarching subdivisions: the central nervous system, which includes the brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, which includes all the rest of the nerves in your body. Let's begin by talking more first about the central nervous system. The central nervous system consists of your brain and your spinal cord. In the previous video, we already discussed the brain in some detail. The other major component of the central nervous system is the spinal cord, and it's what connects your brain to the rest of your body. The spinal cord is divided into 30 segments, each connected to a specific part of the body through the peripheral nervous system, which we'll talk about next. Incoming sensory input from the rest of your body first travels up the spinal cord before being sent to your brain for further processing. In turn, motor messages from the brain travel down the spinal cord, where they are then relayed to the appropriate muscle groups. However, not all messages necessarily have to go to your brain first in order for you to act or respond. We call these reflexes, and they exist to help us act quickly when every second counts. I'm ashamed to say that I've burned my hand more than a few times when baking something in the oven. When my hand touches the very hot metal of the oven, that information is first processed by my spinal cord, which then immediately sends a motor directive for me to pull my hand back. I do so without needing my brain to process that information first. And that's good, because the result is that my hand is pulled away a few milliseconds faster than it otherwise could be. Since the spinal cord plays such a vital role in our body's functioning, it's protected by bony vertebrae. However, if an injury to the spinal cord does occur at a particular segment, all lower segments are cut off from the brain, causing paralysis. Damage to the neck, for example, will result in paralysis from the neck down. Damage to the lumbar region, in contrast, will result in paralysis from the waist down. Therefore, the lower on the spine the damage occurs, the fewer functions an injured individual will lose. We now turn our attention to the other major division of your nervous system, the peripheral nervous system. Again, the peripheral nervous system includes all the nerves outside of your brain and spinal cord. The sensory and motor neurons in your hand, for example, are part of your peripheral nervous system. When you touch a hot object, sensory neurons in your hand, part of your peripheral nervous system, relay that information to your spinal cord, part of your central nervous system, where that information can then be processed and acted on if needed. Scientists further divide the peripheral nervous system into two subsections, the somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is associated with the kinds of activities that are under your conscious or voluntary control. For example, the motor neurons in your arm that we just talked about would be part of the somatic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system, in contrast, controls our internal organs and glands and is generally considered to be outside of the realm of voluntary control. The autonomic nervous system is responsible for helping you control your breathing, heart rate, digestion, and other types of involuntary functions. In turn, the autonomic system itself can be further subdivided into the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. The sympathetic nervous system is involved in preparing the body for stress-related activities, such as your fight or flight response. Have you ever gotten pulled over? I admit I have twice. And when I first saw those blue and red lights in my rearview mirror, my heart rate started to accelerate and my palms started to sweat. That was all the result of activity from my sympathetic nervous system. While the sympathetic nervous system amps us up and prepares us for action, the parasympathetic nervous system helps us calm back down and is associated with returning the body to normal day-to-day operations. These two systems work in tandem to help maintain balance in our body's everyday functioning. In this video, we cover the major divisions of the nervous system. For the exam, you should be able to distinguish between the central, peripheral, somatic, autonomic, sympathetic, and parasympathetic nervous systems.